Welcome back to the Killer Media Podcast. I am Nick, and this is Tim.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It is.
All
Is
right,
it? Is it not? Or are you the Ahab?
We got an Ahab. I'm not the Ahab.
I'm not the Ahab.
And who is? We'll figure that out.
We will. So for today, we had a thread on Instagram where we asked people what their underrated favorite horror movies are, and we picked 3 of them. We'll do more, but these are the 3 we picked. We have Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon, then Sorry to Bother You, and then why am I?
Dog Soldiers.
Dog Soldiers.
Yeah.
You actually saw that one before.
I did years ago. Bland Drek recommended Sorry to Bother You. Corbo5 recommended Behind the Mask. And Find Quumshot recommended Dog Soldiers.
Good name.
So we appreciate those recommendations. We will jump into those very shortly. But before we do, we have some upcoming news.
We do.
News about upcoming items.
Yes.
So, as you saw in one of our stories, there's a new live-action Scooby-Doo series from Netflix that is in the works. How do we feel about that?
I didn't read too much about like the actual plot. Did you?
Yeah. So I'm not gonna remember it, but basically, like I think Shaggy and Daphne or Velma, they're already friends. Then they like connect somehow. Like they're not already established. It's another origin story.
Too many origins.
Yeah. I think they're like inspecting a murder or something of like a monstrous creature committed a murder. So
yeah. If it's rated R, that'd be cool.
Rated R Scooby-Doo? Maybe.
Yeah, if it's rated R, then maybe I'd be interested. But if it's PG-13, if it's not graphic,
Scooby-Doo's not graphic, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, they gotta shake it up.
Shake it up.
Shake it up.
Shake it up. Yeah, no, my hopes are down. But who knows? We'll find out once.
I love Scooby-Doo, so we'll see.
Scooby-Doo's great.
All right, and then the next one is there's an official trailer for the Final Destination Bloodlines. Last episode or the one before that, I don't remember which episode it was, but there was a teaser for it.
Yes.
For the Bloodlines, like just a teaser, nothing about the plot. But this one has like more plot line in the trailer.
Yeah, it's kind of I like it. They explain the Bloodlines. Years ago, this family escaped death, and now they're back for their kids.
Yeah.
To get payback.
And it looks like there was like a flashback to like whoever the woman in the trailer survived. It was on what's the
like the Space Needle.
The Space Needle, yeah, that's in Seattle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seattle,
so that's where that's the origin's going to take place there, and then after somewhere else. But she survived. But wonder how she survived that many more years after. So she's still alive.
I don't know. Do you think it just gives up after one attempt?
Well, I guess this is one of the first people, other than actually, how well established are you with the Final Destination movies?
I've only seen like the first one.
There's at least there's like only like 1 or 2 characters that have survived really long past like their movies.
Oh, then yeah, why is it just now coming back for revenge?
Yeah, like most of the time, the movie, at least the recent like 3 movies, where like everybody pretty much died at the end.
Oh.
Or it looks like they kind of cut it off right before, and they're like, oh, that's not done.
Interesting.
But this time it was like what really long time period, like
years,
it just
like
skips
30 plus years. Interesting.
Yeah.
What?
You said interesting.
I didn't say it like anything.
Now, are you still excited for the Friday the 13th TV series?
I need to hear more information. It's been through so many like plot lines that got canceled. They're rewriting it. Anything Friday the 13th, I'm always intrigued by it.
Well, guess who's playing Pamela Voorhees?
Velma.
Also known as Linda Cardellini. I'm going to say that again. Also known as Linda Cardellini.
Say it.
Cardellini.
Yeah. Like Tortellini.
Tortellini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's
Velma
going to be Pamela.
In the live-action Scooby-Doo.
Now, she would win a fight.
Yeah, she looks like...
She could be...
She doesn't actually look like an old woman.
Right. So it's going to be somewhat younger. Unless you're going to make her old.
No offense to the actress.
Yeah.
who played Pamela, but you
did a great job.
were older.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a prequel, but yet then again, I don't know if it's official art, but Jason's like in the poster. Originally, each season was going to be a movie. Part 1, 2, 3, 4. It was going to be a 10-season show. Each season's a movie.
10 seasons. I feel like that's a lot. Like
Yeah.
them to right off the bat be like, let's go 10 seasons.
No, that was their plan. So they were going to go up to the 10th movie, Space. Like if it did good,
going to space again.
Each season would be in the movies.
If they do it again, I wouldn't mind seeing Jason in space again.
Yeah, because maybe they could do it right this time.
They did it right.
Yeah, it's fun. So I'm intrigued. We're starting to get cast announcements, so that means they're well on their way of making it happen. So
we need something. It's been too long since, other than the video game,
right?
And I think that didn't go well. Now
I think A24 is part of it. So I think
have they
I think
done
they bought,
TV series?
I don't think so, but I think they bought the rights to it. So they own Friday the 13th, but no movies can be made because those rights are owned by the owner, and he won't let a movie happen. So they got they got a TV show to get around it. Yeah, you don't want the money. You know it'll make money.
I know, like people keep asking for it.
2009 was the last time.
They keep asking for it. He doesn't want to give it up.
Yeah. And then lastly,
anyone who loves Starship Troopers. Is that even horror? I don't even know.
It's more like sci-fi action.
Sci-fi action horror.
Bugs.
Bugs.
Bug hunt.
So Neil Blomkamp, the director of District 9.
It's Blowmap, not Blomkamp.
Blomkamp. Blomkamp.
What'd you say?
Anyway. Blomkamp.
You butchered his name.
Sorry, Neil.
Blomkamp.
Anyways, he directed District 9, Chappie, Elysium, and the recent Gran Turismo. As far as I watched all of those.
Chappie's the rated R Wally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It has Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, who was also in the boxing one with the robots.
Yes.
Real Steel.
That was a good. That was a good
movie. Second one, not so much.
Did they actually make it? I don't even.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, well, he's directing Starship Trooper, so I'm confident that he can do it right because he's already done alien stuff with District 9 and sci-fi with Elysium. Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty confident that he'd be pretty set to direct this
giant action bug hunt movie. It'd be awesome with satire thrown in.
Yeah,
great. So that's our news. We hope you enjoyed the news.
Yeah.
If you didn't already know, probably did. Some of it's a bit late, but hey.
Yeah.
We can only do this once a week. So
we'll get better at news. We're just
stay tuned. All right. What movie do we want to jump into first?
Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon.
Sure. This movie, never heard of it.
Yeah, neither have I.
Didn't really read the synopsis. I just put it on when I started to watch it. And then I was like, after like 10 minutes, I read the synopsis. I don't know. And then I was like, oh, okay, so it's like a mockumentary of slashers. So they're breaking down how each slasher movie is like made, but he's doing it in real time.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny.
It was.
And it was kind of cool to see how these slashers would set up their kills. You know, behind the scenes, behind the mask, you know.
So yeah, when we saw who recommended this, thank you for recommending this because
it's a good watch.
We probably maybe not would have seen it so soon. Mm-hmm. I wish I would have seen it sooner.
Yeah.
Because it seems like when was this made? 2006? Yeah, 2006.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised I didn't see it.
Yeah, I never
heard of it.
Yeah. It's one of the ones that I guess gets swept under the rug because it's not like mainstream.
Yeah, that's why it's underrated.
Yeah.
Like not many people.
Exactly.
But when we were at the Monster Mania Con, we did see some little action figures of Leslie Vernon.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. It's very original. You know, there's not a movie that I don't think ever did this that I can think of.
Yeah, not that I can think of.
So it was cool to see different takes.
Yeah.
And so it's like camcorder mixed with actual movie directing style.
Yeah, and I know you don't like found footage camera.
No.
But
the first time I put it on, and I was like, this
is
a found footage movie because they're recording the whole time. But then it switched. That was good.
It was.
That was like the best part. So when it went to a movie, because I said to myself, I want to see this movie. Like I would rather see the movie, not like the behind the scene like recording of it. I was like, I would want to see the movie, and then they do that at the end. It turns into a full fledged movie. Like, all right, that's good. So it paid off for me at the end.
It did for me a little bit, but
Yeah.
we'll get to it.
Yeah. Do we want to do our score first for all of these, just so it's out of the way and we know what to expect from each of us when we're talking about it?
Sure, we'll explain. We'll also explain the new reviewing rating we're doing.
Yeah.
You guys can let us know how you like this between the way we did it before, or if you want us to kind of mix the two,
Right.
and make it even better.
Right. I'm gonna put a timer on. 20 minutes each movie. We're sticking to that timer. All right.
So before we get started, the score is
yeah.
pretty much going to be rating on 10 things. We rate it off of the sound, the music, the cinematography, the acting, the plot, the characters, development, the pacing, the ending, and then the entertainment. Now,
Right.
I think the entertainment adds really good value to it because, like, it's kind of like it kind of rounds it all out. Like, if the movie doesn't really actually like, there's some movies like scary. Like, take it for instance,
Right.
Scary Movie.
Bad
Like,
movies.
they're not really good
They're
movies,
fun.
but they're so fun and entertaining
Mhm.
that does it really matter? No.
Right.
So when you add the entertainment value, like, do you like it? Did you like it? Even
Yeah.
if despite everything,
Mhm.
that's really what rounds everything up.
Yeah.
So that it's not like you hated everything, but you really did like it, but it's still like a 5.
Yeah.
So we take that and just average the score out of 10, and then we have like a small difference of like the replay value on like, does it really affect the overall score? It's very small. Like it kind of affects it by like usually.
It's like a 3% boost or negative.
Yeah, and it comes out to pretty much most of the time
like a
0.2%
yeah.
out of everything. So it doesn't affect, and depending on if it really doesn't affect the replay value at all, then there's no change. It just depends on preference.
Yeah. All right.
So let us know what you guys think of how we do it that way.
Yeah, it gives us more thought and different aspects specifically that helps us round out the score.
Yeah.
So, all right. I'm ready when you are.
I'm ready when you are.
I'm ready when you are. I almost forgot, like for the 5th time. All right. 3, 2, 1.
Go.
7.2.
Oh wait. I forgot what we were doing. 8.6.
All right. You liked it more than me.
I
liked it. I enjoyed it. It's not my favorite.
Now let's see where I liked it more than you and
Yeah.
didn't like it.
Yeah, this way we have the overall, then we break down.
Yeah.
Then we break it down. Wicked fresh.
Well, yeah, let's start like what we
Yeah.
rated.
So yeah, 7.2.
I gotta change the order of this eventually.
Yeah.
So for the sound, I gave it a 7.
Yeah, I gave it a 6. There's not really much to do there. It's just sound. It's kind of average.
For the music, I gave it a 7.
I gave it a 6.
Okay. Now, what is your average for like? Average was pretty much
5.
a 7. Okay.
Oh, like from 1 to 10, obviously 5 is an average. Like it's okay. Anything below that, didn't like it. Anything above that, it has promise.
Yeah, anything below 5, I guess, would be like too distracting. It doesn't make any sense.
There are a lot of 6s, 5s, some 8s, some 7s.
Okay.
It's a mix.
Cinematography, I said 9.
5. It's really.
You didn't like the camera? Is it really the camera footage?
I hate that. And even with the other stuff, there's nothing unique. There's nothing. It's just nothing stood out to me. I was like, oh, that's unique and different. It's just camcorder and then
mostly the plot probably is what really stands out. Which acting, I said was an 8.
Acting, I have a 9. Specifically, Leslie.
Yeah,
you really believe he's like a psycho. Like,
honestly,
you could believe that.
Like it was pretty lighthearted, like with the jokes, but like some of the moments where he's like,
yeah, you can tell.
He's still a killer, so he has issues.
I didn't set the time. There's something. Yeah, you can tell there's something up with him. So he played that part very well.
Yeah. For the writing, plot.
The plot.
Sorry.
9.
10.
9.
I did 10.
The plot's good because
I thought the plot was pretty unique for at least for this movie. Maybe there's another movie out there.
Yeah.
But it was a 10 because it was pretty unique.
Mm-hmm.
For the writing, I gave it a 10.
You gave it an 8. Very, very good writing. Very smart.
For the pacing, I gave it a 10.
7.
Okay. Character development, 10.
8.
Ending.
I gave it an 8.
I gave it an 8.
Yeah, it's good ending.
And entertainment, I give it a 10.
8.
8.
8.
What did you eat?
8.
What did you eat?
I gave it an 8.
All right. Well, he's got 8s all across the board.
Pretty much, yeah.
Shit. Yeah, honestly, sound and music was one of the things that like it didn't stand out.
Right.
It was just very typical of like a slasher film. It mocks that type of genre. So it makes sense.
It didn't excel the movie. It didn't push the movie. It didn't enhance the movie. It didn't degrade the movie. It's just music.
Yeah, I mean,
so
if John Carpenter did the music for
his music,
it would have been
the whole mood of the movie. You know, he knows how to do that.
Cinematography. Cinematography wise, so you really don't like the found footage. I'm fine with the found footage
because it's so shaky and there's nothing unique you can do with it because it's someone holding it. You can't do those cool edits that like Heretic. You can't do that with found footage. So it's so lackluster and just follow me. It's that's why I say that, because it's just you can't do anything unique with it.
Yeah.
Because then it's not found footage, And even when they moved into actual movie, it was nothing like, oh, that was a cool shot. It was just straight shots of here's the scene. So it it didn't really do anything compared to other movies.
It was pretty basic.
Like even Halloween.
Yeah.
Very basic.
Yeah.
Nothing's it's fine cinematography. Halloween 4 with like the beginning shots of like the whole landscapes, like that's cool because it's the picture of it is cool. It's not always the technique of filming it, it's also what you're showing.
Yeah.
And again, nothing really was like, whoa, that's sick. So
yeah.
That's why I gave it a 5.
It really there. I didn't mind it, so that's why I still gave it a I didn't put my numbers right next to where I had it, but I gave it a 9. It was so unique that it added, like, that was the point of the movie, was it's a mockumentary. So they kind of had to do the documentary style.
Yeah.
So I didn't see anything wrong with it, but your preference was that you just you don't like that style anyways.
Yeah. And I get that's why they did it, because they had to, because it's a documentary style, but even so, that's not going to make me go, oh, it was great cinema. I've seen it before. It's nothing.
Yeah. It keeps budgets down.
It does, very much, because you don't need an expensive camera, because it has to look cheap.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and at the beginning, it opens up. It actually doesn't open up with the documentary style. It opens
up with like
following Kelly.
Yeah.
Who is the supposed final girl?
Right. But not.
We saw it coming.
Yeah.
And then it goes into the mockumentary where she's reporting on Leslie, who's taking inspiration from Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, and Freddy Krueger.
Mm-hmm.
Which in this, I was confused on if in this reality that they're real, but the way it's set up that he creates, like, slashers create legends for themselves to make them scarier, but they just kill people.
Right.
But there's like some.
Yeah. So we don't know if those killers are real, or if they are movies, or if they're actually they use the same techniques of they're just human who put a mask on.
Yeah.
It was kind of confusing where they fit in.
Yeah.
But it was cool to have their
it was
that they brought it like that. Yeah. So the acting we both liked.
Yeah.
Definitely the main standout was Leslie. Just because he nailed the role of, I'm a killer.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this because I want to, not because I have ill intent. He's just...
He likes it. You can tell in the way he's acting, you can tell that the character likes it.
Right.
So it's like...
And he doesn't even think about it. He's like, all right, in this scene, I'm going to kill that person.
And then it's cool how the way he justifies how he's going to do it. Like, when they find out the Ahab.
Yeah. We got an Ahab.
Which is actually played by Robert Englund, Doc Halloran, which is the equivalent of Dr. Loomis and Michael Myers.
Mm-hmm. Which I think is a ode to The Shining with Halloran, the other guy with The Shining.
Okay.
Plus, they call the kid Doc. Could be a hint to that.
Okay. I could see that.
I picked up on that.
Okay. You would more than me.
I would.
But Doc Halloran, it's played by Robert Englund. Mm-hmm. He's not in it much, though.
No, he's not.
I wish he was in.
He's the Loomis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's with like she's like, oh, so now that you have an Ahab, you're gonna kill him. And he goes, no, I need him.
Yeah. He furthers the plot. He makes the movie interesting.
Yeah. it's kind of fun to see the way
Right.
mocking that genre of Dr. Loomis surviving all those movies.
Right. Because
He doesn't die because Michael
needs
doesn't actually want to kill him, as it shows.
Yeah, it's very smart how they break down slashers.
Yeah. Also, Herschel, who plays an ex serial killer from The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
Sorry, got ahead of myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyone who knows, I forget the actor's name, but The Walking Dead, if you guys seen it, Herschel, pretty cool.
Was that so? Wait, those I totally forgot. The people that he's talking, is that his parents?
No,
those are just friends. Like fake friends. Gotcha.
They're just friends.
Gotcha. I forgot as I was watching it.
Well, wait. What if they're not even actual killers? What if Leslie paid them to pretend about the documentary and he doesn't actually do anything?
He could do that.
Because as it shows that what happens, that Taylor was actually the one being stalked the whole time.
All along.
The whole plot was based around her.
Big twist, yeah. Which I picked up halfway through.
Yeah, I'm like, at that point, I was like,
she's the final.
Well, the moment it gave it off was when they're looking at the school, and he goes, "Oh, they don't even know." Like I go weeks and weeks, like pick them out. So I was like,
yeah, he's got.
He knows. Yeah. That was a dead giveaway, but it didn't ruin it.
You need a group of friends also that are separate than that, but are willing to hang out. That are just going to connect randomly, which happens. So yeah, it was a lot of callbacks too, which is nice. I like the callbacks. Writing.
Yeah, the writing is really fun because it's like the archetypes of the stereotypical characters. Kelly, who he claims to be stalking, is the typical virgin who is
the virgin.
Always, the virgin who's always the final girl.
Yeah.
Don't ask us how. It's just always that way.
One of those stereotypes.
Then there's always like the jock, like stereotypical.
Yeah.
And he always claims that the final girl has to specifically reach for his weapon.
Yeah. His weapon.
His weapon. She's empowering herself.
The phallic looking weapon. Pacing. It was good. It felt like a hour and a half movie.
Yeah.
It was around there. The different sequences of him setting up the scenes kind of helped push it along.
Yeah.
Like there was no scene that was like super dragged out.
I didn't mind the mockumentary style as much as you did, but I still would have liked to see more of like regular movie. Yeah. Even the end when it was pretty much a movie.
It was like 15 minutes of the last movie.
Still would have liked to see a little bit more.
Yeah, I would too, because I already said it before, but I was like, I want to see this movie play out like an actual movie.
It'd be cool if they edited it and then just released the movie.
They should have done that.
They should have.
Like in
actually
the director's cut.
District 9. When I was looking up the news, the movie for District 9, it was like a 15-minute documentary style of him reporting on like the plot, and then they made it into a movie.
Oh, cool.
So like, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's cool.
Maybe something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Character development. They went through pretty good development. Leslie followed his whole arc, beginning to end.
Yeah.
From starting and he did this when he was like a kid. He faked his death, like as a child.
He's definitely messed up.
Yeah, like how old do you think he is? Like early 30s, late 20s, probably.
Yeah, late 20s,
like 26 like maybe. So like for 26 years, or ever since maybe he was like 9, he's like, I'm gonna be a serial killer. I'm gonna kill myself now and hide out for 18 years.
Yeah,
like dedication. So you saw his story through and through till the end of his death.
Yeah,
he dies. Gets his head crushed.
Does he though?
Maybe he's not dead. Maybe
we didn't see the body at the end.
It's true. Maybe
when the house is on fire.
Maybe he coded that.
Exactly.
With
that's
like
why
cushion.
That's why I wish there was a second.
He's always planning ahead.
Yeah.
I don't think he's dead.
I don't think he's dead. Come on, make another one.
Yeah.
I want to see where this goes.
He faked his death again. To come
and
back.
Again and again. It's Michael Myers.
It never ends. Yeah. This is how they always come back.
Exactly. There's no explanation.
Because they plan it.
But he could probably explain it.
Yeah. Michael, bulletproof vest.
It's just like the creep the creep videos where he gets people to document his See, would it work a second time though?
No, because you already know the plot. It's just curiosity at that point, seeing what he's going to do next. But go back to acting. He reminded me his charmness of when he's describing everything in like a charmful way reminded me of Creep. That guy.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
kind of reminded me of how he acts.
Yeah, I can see.
I was like, all right, I'm getting some vibes from him.
Yeah,
Because
that's
he's
what
like
I actually thought
he's
about.
charming, but also he's a serial killer.
Yeah, Taylor kept saying he's a genius.
Yeah.
I'm confused. Like,
Yeah.
thought she was gonna marry him.
Right. When I get to my negatives, I'll explain some stuff. There's not a lot of negatives, but
Yeah,
then we have the ending. I thought it ended. It was a slasher.
it was typical.
It's a typical ending.
I actually kind of wished that the ending wasn't exactly how Leslie planned the ending was gonna be.
Right. However, didn't he have a line that says, "Maybe I'll win, maybe I won't"? Like,
Yeah,
he didn't know how it was exactly going to end.
yeah.
So, but it did end up like a typical.
But exactly
slasher.
how she grabbed for his weapon and
Right.
then
Yeah, you
kills
grabbed
him.
the. I guess she had no other option, but I was like, he
Yeah,
went literally for the broken axe that he literally told you was broken. Is that because you just forgot because you're in the moment, or that was your only choice? No way he
that was on
rigged.
purpose.
Yeah,
And obviously the
because I
movie
was
did
like,
take.
no way you rigged that whole shed to like ruin all of the tools you could have used. But she went for the specific broken axe. I'm like, okay, maybe they're mocking how stupid people are in horror movies.
Yeah,
maybe that's where.
I think that's what it was definitely.
So, yeah, I thought the ending it was fine. Typical slasher.
Yeah, I thought it was fine, but I wished it was like. I wish that part wasn't predictable, where like
Yeah,
it played out exactly how Leslie kind of planned it out, and then he maybe knew he was gonna die, or he knew that it'd be like fake his own death. Like that's how it was gonna end up, anyways.
Or it could be interesting. He's such a genius, but then they get an edge on him somehow.
Yeah,
that would have been cool to see. Like, what is it? What's happening? That could have been cool.
Yeah,
but didn't happen.
Yeah, that would be my negative.
Yeah. And entertainment overall,
yeah,
it's enjoyable.
I guess I'm more excited. It's enjoyable.
It was very enjoyable.
Very. Yeah. No, it's okay.
For a first time watch, it's very enjoyable.
Yeah.
I think it loses replay value because you know what happens, and it's just gonna get old.
Yeah.
But no, it was very good.
Yeah. I'm shocked. I'm not too shocked, but I like when I read the synopsis from the guy who recommended it, or girl, I don't know.
Can't assume.
I was like, oh, maybe this could be interesting. It's comedy, but then I wasn't 100% sure how that would go. But I was like, okay, I'm getting into this.
Right. And they didn't full blown. It's not a spoof. It's not a comedy. Technically, it's a spoof, but it's not like scary movie comedy.
It's not like
it has its serious moments with comedy thrown in there, which is it's done well.
Yeah, it's not like the comedy of where which scary movie was it where the sheriff, the woman had the hat. Like every shot, it kept getting like bigger and bigger. It wasn't like that type of comedy.
Yeah, it's smart comedy that's written well.
Yeah.
Like every now and then he would like fist bump the guy on the camera. Like I thought that was funny. Like they were like buddies. I thought that was funny.
And he kills him though.
Yeah,
sad.
I thought he was gonna be like, you know me, it's fine, but no, because that group was the whole targeted group anyway. So I was like, all right.
Maybe he thought about it like, dang, I did like him.
Yeah, maybe. And then replay value. I have it at like as we said, a medium. You know, I can rewatch it. I'm not in a rush to rewatch it. Maybe like every other year or whatever, or just to show somebody else.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
It has rewatchability, but not to where I'm gonna go, I need to rewatch this now. And I'm sure on rewatch there's more hints that we missed, as always there are in movies.
So like now that we know the exact twist and everything, then we can look back and read more into it.
We can focus on the background elements instead of the foreground elements. Find those Easter eggs.
And the 5 ground evidence.
Yeah.
And the 6 ground.
And 7. Some pros that I thought. Overall, it's a very original story.
Yeah.
Very different. Taking the slasher genre and flipping it upside down to learn how they're done. Very unique.
Yeah.
Good acting, especially Leslie. Great.
Shout out to Taylor though.
Yeah.
The actress for Taylor.
They did.
I think both of them they were the main focus, and you can kind of see that the dynamic was like at a certain point. Like I was like, yeah, they're definitely like they have that much chemistry because she keeps saying that he's a genius.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is like definitely hinting towards like both of them being like the head. my con was about Doc Halloran.
Dark
Uh,
Halloran.
Doc Halloran, he not being in it as much as I maybe have hoped.
Yeah,
But
I think they could have used more of that, but again, it's not his story.
yeah,
Like it's mainly the yeah. I
well
can see where
maybe
you're coming
maybe
from.
Doc Halloran kills him this time.
Maybe
Maybe it could have been him who killed him.
that would have been good because he died pretty easily. He
Yeah,
didn't even put up a fight. He died exactly how he said he was going to die.
he was so menacing though. Like I feel
He
like Robert
was.
Englund was, for some reason, channeling Freddy
He's
Krueger.
Fred.
Yeah,
I'm sure he did that
even
purposely.
like even with like out like the voice distortion, like his
Yeah.
voice was pretty
Mhm.
gravelly to like almost sounded like Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
Maybe on purpose.
Probably.
Maybe they altered his voice a bit.
Maybe.
Um,
Yeah, my con, cinematography, as we all know. Lackluster. Nothing great here. And the other one is it's still a slasher at its core, so I wish they went with more blood and guts with the kills.
okay.
Like embellish that more because it's still a slasher.
Yeah, it was mainly like
A lot of the kills are like off camera, like you see it and then it cuts away,
probably
and then
budget.
it goes back. Probably budget, but yeah, I wish they
Yeah,
had a little more.
unfortunately.
Like the librarian, she just kind of just. I didn't even think he killed her. I thought he just like knocked her down or something. And then when Doc shot him like in the arm, I didn't think he hit him, but he did. There was
Oh
no
yeah.
blood. I was like, did he get shot? Like he didn't show any signs of pain. He literally got shot with a gun. So there's some stuff.
Maybe we see old man Leslie,
Maybe.
like that guy. What's his friend's name anyways? The guy who plays Herschel.
I forgot.
Damn it. Fuck.
Damn it, Herschel.
We didn't actually watch the movie. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So yeah, it was overall it's enjoyable. I say go watch it.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
interesting and fun.
If you like comedy, spoof mocks, not as like scary movie
Right.
parody, but like it's making fun of like movies that make fun of genres.
Right.
But not too much, like where it's like really unrealistic. This
Yeah.
was a little bit unrealistic
A little
at
bit
some
because
points.
everything went to plan. Everything.
Well,
Exactly how
who
he said
like as Taylor, like you have a crew and you want to interview some
it.
serial killer.
That's another con. You're interviewing a future serial killer and you're watching it play out. Why would you go along with that?
She was calling him a genius. I thought
Yeah.
maybe like eventually she was going to turn into a serial killer.
Yeah.
Maybe they should have went with that too.
Maybe. She was in on it.
Some ideas that they could have twisted it up.
And yeah, she smartened up after like 5 people are already dead. But like you're interviewing a soon to be serial killer. Did she not believe him?
I think so. Maybe she thought that.
But after the
at first.
librarian died, she still went along with it. Like why? Is the footage that good?
Well,
And
she always made sure that the footage was there.
yeah, but if you show the cops after like this guy did it, you withheld evidence. You assisted.
I was gonna say, what
killings?
if everything was good? Like if everything planned out where Taylor doesn't like get targeted and everything of the plan was good. What after that? Like the movies, the documentary's done. Like what do you do with that footage? Like
yeah, you're assisted murder. You didn't do anything to stop it. You assisted.
That's unrealistic, but it's a mockumentary,
it's
so
a movie.
We'll allow it.
Yeah, we'll allow it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do Dog Soldiers.
Let's do Dog Soldiers.
That one's fun.
Yeah, let's save the crazy one for last.
Yeah, the one that's not really a horror movie, but I'll get into it.
I'll debate that on you.
Okay. There's aspects. All right. So what did I give this?
Crap. Frozen. Not
Let
the Disney movie.
Oh.
Let it go.
I feel like if we say anything Disney, they'll just copyright strike us.
We're not even monetized.
Doesn't matter. They don't want the advertising. All right. 3.
Wait, hold on. I'm not ready. Jesus
Get ready.
Christ. Get ready, Nick. All right.
3, 2, 1. 7.3.
Joke's on you.
Why?
No, 8.9.
Oh. All right. It's a good movie. It's a good watch.
It is.
It's a good movie. I thought this was like 80s, but it's 2003 or 2.
2002.
2002. I was like, oh, it's a 2000 movie. Shot like an 80s movie.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole bunch of film grain. It looks like it's old, but it's really not.
Yeah, the way I actually thought it was going to be older too.
Yeah.
Maybe 90s, maybe not 80s old, but I was just like,
It looks
It's
like
2002. I was like, huh. And the werewolf CGI was really good.
No CGI, practical effects.
Oh yeah, practical effects. There's probably some digital touch-ups.
Probably some, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, they're really good. Out of all the werewolf movies that are out there, this is probably in like the top 5. Like, it's good.
Yeah, let's not talk about the recent Wolfman. Compared, like, what?
Not even a Wolfman.
Like, a 2002 movie has a better
story.
werewolf design
Yeah.
and story. Like, then
The
2025. 2025, was it? Yeah,
the first movie
I don't even
of
remember.
2025.
I don't even remember.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's another horror comedy.
Is it a horror comedy?
It is a comedy. There's a lot of funny lines, and it's classified as a horror comedy.
Really?
I think so.
I saw it was horror action.
I think it's a comedy. There's a lot of funny lines too. And
not that I
campy stuff. Is it?
Yeah, I don't. I got it from Google.
Yeah. It does say horror action, but I read somewhere that
there was some funny stuff.
Like comedy. It's not a typical comedy, but there's a lot of lighthearted dialogue and like funny dialogue. So you could classify it borderline comedy. All right. As much as this is a comedy, I'm saying the next movie we're watching is as much not a horror movie. We'll agree to disagree there.
I see. Like, I can't. Like, you got to define like what you mean as comedy.
There's a lot of funny lines. It doesn't take itself super seriously.
Because Behind the Mask was definitely a comedy.
Yeah, but this movie also doesn't take itself super seriously because there's a lot of campiness to it.
Is that intentional though?
If it is, then it's a comedy.
Maybe.
Yeah. If it's not, then it's just bad.
I trust Google with my life. No, I don't.
Okay. Anyway, so sound, 6 out of 10. Again, nothing very great. The best parts about it were like the gunshots and like the wolf howls in the background.
I give it a 9.
Oh, okay.
I liked it.
Okay.
Better than Wolfman.
Well, yeah, it's better than Wolfman.
Like, anything's better than Wolfman, though.
Yeah, that's true. Whoever likes that movie, you don't. Watch it again. We saw it twice. I saw it twice.
I'll even say that the music, I gave it a 9. Like,
I thought it was fine. I gave that music and sound the 6 too.
Like, it goes with everything. And there were some parts where I rewatched it again, and I was like, oh, I didn't even notice the very, very subtle, like, eerie music in the background, and it adds even more. And I was like, oh, I didn't even notice this. But, like, I think that's what it was. Like, even the very subtle stuff in it, I actually really enjoyed about the sound and the music.
Yeah, so, unless soundtracks and movies really embellish the story, the plot, and how it rolls, they'll typically always be like average for me. I'm a as you know, I'm a tough critic.
Yeah.
With a lot of movies, so
yeah,
I still enjoy them. Like 7.3, it's a good score.
Dig that hole.
It's a good score.
Dig that hole.
It's like Dave Portnoy in his pizza reviews. A 6 is an amazing score. I'm like that. Like 6 out of 10 for him is amazing.
Okay.
When he gets a 9, it's like otherworldly, you know.
Okay.
I'm the type of guy where 10 out of 10s are so rare because nothing's perfect. But I do drop them every now and then, like Heretic. Because that was just a phenomenal movie.
Okay. I see where you come from.
I'm just more critical. I'm more realistic. Maybe too realistic. Anyway, cinematography, 7 out of 10.
I gave this one a 10.
Cinematography.
For being 2002.
It was a little bit ahead of its time.
Yeah.
It was also very dark in some scenes where I couldn't really see.
I noticed that too, but I think that added. With, like, the lights going out, like they're in the dark, they're deep shit.
Right.
They're up
but
at
the same
creek.
time, you want to see what you're watching.
That's true.
But again, they also probably did it because back then maybe they didn't have faith in their practical effects, so they're trying to hide it.
Yeah.
Which again makes sense. But if I can't see what I'm watching and I'm like trying to look for it, I can't super enjoy it.
Okay.
But it was good.
I was okay with that.
Right.
I thought like maybe it was done on purpose.
I'm sure.
Maybe some for those reasons, but the darkness like kind of added like it's dark out this whole time. Like they're trapped in this house. There's no lights. They're not going to come on.
It did add to the atmosphere.
Yeah.
But with the film grain, there was a lot of it, which made me think it was an 80s movie. With the 2002, the cameras weren't phenomenal.
Okay.
Add that all, it is hard to see near like the final acts.
Okay.
Like after the lights actually go out. But again, whatever.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
But no, I think it was most of the high points I gave it was I think they intentionally made it look like an older 80s kind of actiony movie, like Predator, like that has a lot of film grain because it's old. So I appreciated that, and they played the military soldier esque like scenes very well.
Yeah.
Like they really captured what like war movies capture with the camaraderie between the squad. Their dialogue was very witty, how they always are.
That was one of
So
my favorite parts of the movie.
they did good with that. You know, the bickering back and forth and like
Yeah.
the quips. That's why I'm saying it's a light comedy.
Yeah, and Sean Pertwee is in it.
Yeah, Alfred.
Alfred from the
Gotham.
Gotham series.
I was like, hey, Alfred.
Yeah.
And I forgot his name, but he's also in Game of Thrones. Again, forgot his name in Game of Thrones. But the special ops guy, he's in Game of
Oh
Thrones.
yeah, Captain Ryan.
Yeah.
But you don't remember the actor's name.
No.
I think I have
Nor
it.
his name in Game of Thrones. I'll quickly look.
I did not put his name, but yeah.
Do. Where's cast? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, but he's in that. But
Yeah.
no, it's a yeah.
Those are my favorite parts.
Everybody had British accents. I like a good British accent. It's a nice accent. So that was cool.
Yeah. Cooper is
Koopa.
He's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT.
Honestly, yeah, I enjoyed his character a lot.
Yeah, he did good. Him in the beginning, him not killing that dog.
Yeah. Really
like,
sets
respect.
it really sets who he is.
Right. Respect.
After even maybe you can tell like he wanted to be special ops.
Right.
But like
He's
this is the line where he does not cross.
Right. He's not crossing that line.
Yeah. But maybe it compares to him actually having to fucking kill dogs.
Werewolves. Maybe because at the end he had to kill him, the guy who was trying to make him kill a dog. And it's called dog soldiers, and wolves are technically wild dogs.
Yeah.
So he kills bad dogs.
Yeah.
The ones that are trying to kill him.
So
it's kind of poetic at the end.
No, this would have really sold me as a comedy if he goes and like before he kills werewolf Captain Ryan, he goes bad dog, and then he kills him.
The one-liners, bad dog.
If there was like one-liners like that, I would say that would be
bark up the wrong tree.
You
know, some one-liners. Yeah, then it would be.
You scratched the wrong bark.
You scratched the wrong soldier. Anyway, but yeah, that was good. Acting 9 out of 10. It's good acting for what it is. The good military camaraderie, the dialogue they gave him. I can sell it that they're gruff soldiers. You know.
I really like the scene before everything goes to shit when they're camping out and everyone's telling their fears and they're like, Sergeant doesn't have any fears,
right? And
he goes in that whole story. Sean Pertwee, pretty good actor.
He's good. He was the best actor in the movie.
Yeah.
He could be a lead. Like he was the lead, but not the lead.
I can see.
He was the lead as in he was the captain.
Yeah.
Cooper's the main character.
I'm the captain.
Yeah.
Of this boat.
Listen to me. Yeah. But yeah, no, he can pull his own weight. He was a good captain. Yeah. He had again, lighthearted, but he has his fear, not his fear, but he can instill fear on the squad to get them to step in line when he has to. So that was portrayed.
And the scenes with Cooper and them, like when they're in the bed. No sus. And he's dying, and like he's just like, "This is your squad now."
Yeah, like you're now the captain.
And you could tell from when he's like, "Yeah, I should have saved that other guy." Like,
right.
But you did. You saved me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just overall between Cooper and Cooper, also your dog's name.
Yeah, that's true.
Every time I thought of
the one that you hear every now and then.
Yeah. He's a good okay boy.
He's a good boy. Well, you got to get to know him. And even then. The plot?
Again, I gave it a 7.
Yeah, I gave it an 8.
Okay.
It's a good plot. It's different. You don't see any action movies with werewolves. Usually it's a werewolf and more horror of trying to survive. But here it's like full-on werewolves versus soldiers. It
wasn't as basic as I predicted it was going to go, but it was still not like it wasn't the strongest part.
Right.
Like honestly, the characters and between everybody's dialogue, and you could tell the camaraderie around like the soldiers is really what was like the highlight for me.
Right.
Not as much as the plot.
Yeah, because they really explained the plot in the last like 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was
So you could
maybe
replace
one of the gripes.
the werewolves with anything. They don't really have a main point in the story. You can replace them with anything.
Yeah.
And the movie would still play out 90% of what happened.
Yeah. Other than at the beginning, he
Yeah.
doesn't kill a dog.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but again, change that to something else.
Yeah.
I mean, you could make it whatever you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked the more action horror than just a American Werewolf in London, the typical werewolf horror story.
Like the pace was really slow compared to the end when they're like, okay, here's the plot, and that's the plot.
Right.
But I thought that it helped with like the characters and everything.
Yeah.
It helped. It helped a lot. If the acting was terrible,
right,
and everything between that was also terrible, it would have been way lower.
Oh yeah.
Overall.
And the twist like at the end that she was like, she's the alpha.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, it's a good twist. I didn't see that coming.
I'm the alpha.
Yeah. I'm the alpha dog.
But I felt it was like a little bit of a cop out because then she's about to turn into a werewolf and he just shoots her. Like
this is true.
Did she really play too much of an importance other than kind of telling them that they would be in the shed,
right?
But they're not because she knows.
Yeah,
she knows. But there was little hints when Cooper kept looking at the photos and kind of looking around the whole place, assessing everything.
Right.
It did make sense, but I felt like there wasn't enough hints.
Yeah,
and build up to that.
Right. But and again, if you don't build up enough, then it's more of a whoa.
Yeah.
So I can see that.
But then also Captain Ryan, like he wasn't in it as much.
Yeah,
like he didn't really play too much of a role until like
kind of did.
He kind of I guess is set up as the actual big bad because Megan, the girl that saves the woman that saves them, is a werewolf. But honestly, why isn't she a werewolf like until that exact moment?
Yeah, it's one of my negatives. It's very inconsistent.
Like you're able to keep the werewolf side at bay.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. And
that was one of the odd things.
Yeah.
The build up, like at the very beginning, when Cooper's tried to be forced to kill the dog, and then Ryan's obviously the antagonist, and then they find him and they patch his wounds up a little bit and they keep him.
Right.
And like the whole time, like he just didn't really do anything.
Right.
Until the end, then he turns into a werewolf, and then he escapes, and then he fights Cooper. Like it wasn't really satisfying to me at that point.
Yeah. Again, it's basically just all the positives is the acting with the soldiers and like their dialogue. Like that's where a lot of the pros are.
It was.
The stories, it's pretty
basic. It was basic, makes up for it, but acting was really good for what I actually did not expect the acting.
Yeah, neither did I. Typically early 2000s, you have that kind of cheesy dialogue, but it worked.
Even for the lesser known actors in this.
Yeah, like they were all pretty good. It worked.
Yeah. Well, funniest when she goes, it's that time of the month.
Yeah.
Is that where you think it's a
okay.
That's pretty cheesy.
There's a lot of
thinking about it.
There's a lot of campiness near the
obviously
end.
Play on the moon.
Yeah.
And then periods.
Yeah.
But it was just I did laugh at that when she said that.
Yeah. Yeah. This the ending became like the ending has a tonal shift where it's like it's more campy comedy than the beginning, the first half.
Yeah.
Like it kind of switches.
I could see that a bit, but I still can't say comedy.
It's not a comedy in sense of other comedies, but it has those lighthearted. It has enough of them to where you can maybe subclassify it.
Yeah.
At its very basic level, comedy.
Yeah. Wait until you get to Sorry to Bother You.
That's a comedy.
That is a wild ride.
Pacing?
Yeah.
I think it was pretty good. It didn't drag a lot. There were some scenes that were dragged on more. I'm like, all right, let's push it along.
Yeah, despite the story elements that I didn't like for pacing at the beginning, the acting was good, so that's why I still gave it an 8.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was invested in the dialogue to where the pacing, it kind of filled that gap if it was going along because the dialogue's good.
Yeah,
so I'm
honestly, really everything came down to like the acting, the characters, and the writing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was good. Character development. There's some pretty good ones. Cooper, obviously.
Mainly
the other soldiers, they don't have much. They're just kind of cannon fodder near the end. Captain Ryan again didn't really have much. He didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Um,
It was honestly Cooper and
the Sarge.
Sergeant Wells,
Yeah.
where he looks at his
Yeah.
wife's photo before he turns
Mhm.
and sacrifices himself.
Mhm.
He's gonna sacrifice himself.
Yeah.
Uh,
I have an 8 for the ending. It was fine. Typical
seven,
ending.
seven for
You
me.
know. Yeah.
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 It's a good ending.
One of these days we'll just do a whole episode. We'll just go. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have
Yeah.
no soul. Yeah.
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 And I was very entertained.
Yeah. I give it an 8.
Yeah, same. 8.
Okay.
There was a lot of action. Throw werewolves.
Yeah, I
in
like
there.
the action.
Throw
like the
werewolves.
action parts.
They had a lot of guns that never ran out of ammo. You know,
Even
typical.
though that was one of the main parts,
Yeah.
like we gotta conserve our ammo.
Right.
3 round bursts.
And they were
That
shooting
was not a good
fully
accent.
automatic.
Don't clip that.
Yeah, I'm gonna clip that. Yeah, three round bursts, but they're still shooting fully automatic after they said that.
Yeah,
And
after
of course you could be spamming
he
it.
said it like 3 times. He's like, "All right, 3 round bursts."
Right.
And then I was when they were shooting, I was like, "Doesn't sound like 3 round
Yeah, it
bursts."
doesn't. And they really emphasize them picking up ammo off the floor of like the dead soldiers. But then again, they still never run out of ammo. Like they're shooting like 80 bullets out of an MP5. Non-extended mag. Didn't look extended.
How many werewolves did actually die in this?
Did any of them? You can only kill them with the
explosion.
That little knife. Yeah, I guess the explosion for a little of them. And there was what, 4, 5, 3? There wasn't that many. There was like 3.
Maybe there was. I think it was. How many family members were there?
And like Captain Ryan was the 4th one or 5th one, maybe.
I don't remember. Well, she took the picture of the photo of the family.
Right.
And was there 3 or 4 of them in there on that photo? I can't remember.
I want to say 4.
I want to say 4 too.
There's at least 5, maybe less, but
there would be 6 overall.
Right. But I feel like there weren't that many. Like on screen at one time, I guess. But yeah, they don't really die.
Well, yeah. How many practical effects did they make? Because they probably didn't want to make too many because they didn't need to show all of the werewolves at once every single time.
Yeah.
So they just used a couple.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't see all of them at once.
Right.
So
it looked like there was a lot, but when they were all in the kitchen, there was like 3 or 4 of them. So
there's I think was there only 2 behind her when she starts turning into the werewolf?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, like where's I don't know.
Yeah. Again, budget regions.
Budget.
The good old budget.
For me, this had a really good replay value.
Yeah, this is one of the ones that can be replayed a lot.
Yeah, it's the action. It's just fun,
right?
Entertaining the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave it a 3% boost, which gave it to an 8.9. Would have been like an 8.7.
Yeah.
Without it, not a huge difference.
Yeah.
It's still within 8.5 to 9.
Ow.
My positives.
Ow.
Yeah. Ow.
Yeah.
The pros for me was the werewolf practical effects. I was actually pretty stunned that for a 2002 movie, that was like the biggest pro. Then also the acting and the writing and the camaraderie.
I had the acting specifically the way the soldiers interacted with themselves, because that's in every war movie. There's a certain way they always interact.
Yeah,
and that's what they did. And then practical effects, really good. Plus thumbs up, 2 thumbs up. Wow. Cons, again, near the end, the tone seemed to go kind of campy, more so than the beginning. Beginning of the movie's more horror-ish. Then it gets the full-on action. Then there's a lot of campiness going on with the time of the month.
Yeah, maybe they didn't
stuff like that.
They didn't know how to keep it that same.
Yeah, it was like a sort
and
of.
they leaned into even more of it.
Yeah, and then the inconsistent lore of when you turn, and also,
it wasn't established.
Yeah, Wells. Yeah, that was him.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, his insides were flowing, and all they did was just push him back in and then wrap him up, and he was fine.
He's like, yeah, we'll push him back in. We got it.
Yeah, I'm like, and I guess he was injured by the werewolf, so has that healing ability, but you don't just push it back in. That's not how it works.
Actually, no, wait. Was it if it's his intestines? They actually know how to the actual organ itself. You can push it in the body however you want, and it'll fix itself.
All right,
so if it was really just the intestines that came out,
maybe.
Not to get too graphic.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's it's crazy fact of the human body.
Right. I can see that, but then again, he very quickly seemed to be fine. Yeah, he was acting very injured a
Well,
lot.
he was a werewolf at the end.
True. Yeah, and it does heal. But
He starts healing more.
I just found it odd. He was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
his whole stomach was like a flap. It was like a door, and they just pushed it in and just wrapped him up. They didn't even like staple it. It was just wrapped up, and like it never fell back out.
I mean, I kind of forgot the lore for a second, where like if you get scratched by a werewolf,
Yeah.
it doesn't even have to be bitten, then you start
Yeah.
turning into one. So like
Mhm.
at a point, I was like, I kind of forgot, and then eventually, like when Ryan turns into a werewolf, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh wait, I guess Wells is gonna turn into a werewolf
Right.
too.
And yeah, he kind of figured that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the timing of it too, of turning in like what's the time frame? Because Ryan was
Seems
like
convenient.
the entire movie, and at the end switched. Wells did it a lot quicker, you know. So I don't know what the
Like Ryan was scratched way longer than Wells was,
yeah
but it just seemed very inconsistent.
yeah. So that was the thing. If they explain that a bit more,
Yeah, and I wish Captain Ryan was in it more and had more of a threat, and
yeah.
it would have made the fight between Cooper and them better.
Mhm. Yeah.
It would have had more significance.
Right. So yeah, 7.3.
Yeah. If you're a fan of werewolf movies,
That any
watch
lover
this.
of werewolf movies
Yeah.
and military, because there's enough military in it as there is horror elements. So
I haven't actually seen that many werewolf movies.
I feel like there's not a lot because most of them are just really bad.
Yeah, American Werewolf in London
That's
is
good. That's a
but
comedy.
is really yeah it is,
That's
but it's so good.
it is good. It's really good.
It's good.
Yeah, very good. All right, and our last movie, the wackiest of them all. Sorry to bother you.
Yeah, let us know if you guys think this is a horror. I'm gonna share why I think
there's
it's a
not
horror.
enough, but I know where you're coming from. Again, I can say more of a like they call it Google thriller.
Like it's classified as a comedy sci-fi.
Yeah,
A lot of sci-fi kind of sometimes ends up as horror,
you can
not
twist
maybe
that.
in the generic sense of like killers or like aliens, stuff
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah. So this one.
This one.
So my score.
So now, I actually did peek at your scores
Yeah,
before
I saw
this.
yours. Right now, same score. So you're gonna say something.
Was I? I forget.
All right.
All right, let's carry on.
3,
We're not gonna waste.
2, 1,
8.7.
8.7 minus 10. No, yeah, 8 point,
Minus 10.
8.7.
That's negative.
Yeah, 8.7. This was the best out of the three. Not really scary. It wasn't.
It's kind of terrifying though
It's
when you
not.
think about it.
It is like the what do you call that word? I don't know. The subject matter of it near the end when you figure stuff out. Yeah, that's like scary, but it's wacky enough to not be scary.
Yeah, there's a lot of genres that
It's a big metaphor.
I was looking it up because I was curious. Like, I was thinking of like social horror. It's kind of like a dystopian world because
Yeah,
the way that the world is, it's very similar to ours. Like, there's definitely cultural aspects like dystopian that it's kind of similar to how events are happening now.
right.
But at the same time, there's also it's like very absurd and it's kind of like wacky, but it does make you think. So in that sense, it's kind of horrifying.
Yeah, it's a big metaphor for capitalism. They really personified what capitalism is and how it's controlling our world in a very unique way.
Yeah.
So yeah, sound design. I think it was pretty good.
It was an 8.
Yeah, 7. Pretty good. There was a lot of unique sounds, especially the horsemen. They were like they had some like distinct sounds and the way they talk and stuff.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Well, this is the biggest one that we wouldn't want to spoil. So
yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Well, we are, so be warned.
So make sure watch all these movies before you watch these. It's better.
Yeah.
We try not to, we really don't want to spoil, but sometimes
it's old enough.
We have to.
Yeah, it's old enough to where it's your fault. Yeah.
This was like what 2018, I think.
Was it? Yeah, it's old enough.
But yeah, watch the movie before you watch this, especially for Sorry to Bother You.
Yeah. Music 7 out of 10. It has some
Seven.
very funky
Yeah.
tones. Like again, in like comedy, it fit the comedy theme, the mood.
Yeah.
It was like jazz, hip hop funkiness.
All it blended pretty well.
Yeah.
Together, it created the tone of like
Right.
everything.
Very odd.
Like, does it say it takes place like in 2018, or is it like?
Oh, like in the actual movie?
Yeah.
That I don't know. I don't know if they said.
Okay.
Cinematography 9 out of 10.
Yeah,
I thought
mine was 9.
The shot's very good. There's a lot of artistic value like in this movie because one of the main characters is an artist.
Yeah.
So it was very put together specifically. So it was nice.
Yeah, especially the shots when he's doing his calls and he puts them.
Yeah.
The shot
that was unique. Yeah. At first, I thought he was actually like it actually happened because he was like, "Whoa, what's going on?" So I thought it was real.
Yeah.
But no, it was just us visualizing.
And it kind of, I guess, it kind of somewhat breaks the fourth wall. I didn't actually think of it until just now, but when he actually notices like what's going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's some creepy shit.
Yeah, and also with the comedy, every shot of his car is always like in smoke, and it's kind of funny. Like every time he's driving it, it's just engulfed in smoke
until he gets his new one.
Yeah. Acting 9 out of 10, really good acting.
Mine was 8. Yeah.
Why'd you give it an 8?
Why'd you give it a 9?
Because it was really good.
8's still pretty good.
It is really good.
We'll disagree to
acting was great. I think they were all believable. My favorite scene with acting, I think, was the nights off when they kept complimenting each other. I'm like, what's going on? Like they kept complimenting each other, but in a very like undertoned way. Like they meant harm, but they were complimenting each other.
But it was funny that they were complimenting each other, but everyone still was like, "Yo, chill."
Yeah. They kept
They're like, break it up.
I hope you have a nice day. Like it was very like.
I hope you have an even nicer day.
Yeah, it was like they were trying to one up on their compliments. It was funny. Comedy. The plot 10 out of 10.
Kind of reminds me of Key and Peele.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, the main guys. Yeah. 10 out of 10 for the plot. Very good. Very unique. A very interesting way to tackle a very serious subject matter.
It really was.
Yeah. Because at times, capitalism and how it controls us, it is very wacky. Like at times, and it can be very.
And
mundane.
The stupid ads.
Yeah.
Need a break from the ads.
Yeah, not the other one.
As we put probably ads.
Yeah. We don't put them if we get sponsored.
True.
But then it'll be our ads, not YouTube generated. But then if we get paid by YouTube, they'll do it automatically. So buy YouTube Premium to get away from the ads.
I would rather be sponsored than just having ads.
Oh, yeah, because we control it. And we know the products are good because we're selling it to you. That's the day. And the first one is going to be defaulted to Raid Shadow Legends. Not yet. But you know it's coming.
I tried playing that game.
I tried to. It didn't work. It's all lies. So if we get sponsored by them, we won't take it. Because we're not sellouts for stuff we don't like.
Yes.
Take notes, companies.
Give us your best shit.
Companies that we want to be advertised by. This is good shit. Smart Water. Mountain Dew.
Who gets sponsored by water?
I don't know. It's just water. Any horror outlet. Any you can't see it because it's out of frame. McFarlane, NECA will sell your shit for you. So back to our program.
Acting, plot, writing.
Yeah. Writing, very good, very witty, very.
It was great,
very good. So great. So 10.
It was great.
So a 9.
It was really great.
So you gave it a 9. Yeah, okay, I can see.
9.
Yeah, I gave it a 9.
I sometimes can't always do 10 out of 10 for like comedy. Comedies.
But if it makes you laugh, did it succeed?
It did.
10 out of 10.
But like, I'm gonna base everything comedy wise, like specifically writing.
Yeah.
I'll say Key and Peele. Key and Peele.
Very good.
One of the best writing between.
Very smart. Yeah.
But like, it was pretty up there.
It was very good.
But like, it was just
can't be perfect.
It's not going to be as perfect as Key and Peele. So
right.
Key and Peele, 10 out of 10 in terms of like my rating of comedy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, the writing was very good. There were a lot of specific, subtle hints, like the names.
Yeah.
Again, the name isn't writing, but the woman's name. I forgot how
Detroit.
No, the work woman.
Oh, her.
And he was like, it kind of sounds like debauchery.
Oh yeah.
Which is a word for like this is ridiculous. And she's like, no, it's not like that. But like again, all the names fall into the metaphor.
I mean,
Cash.
I mean,
because cash is green.
Yeah.
Capitalism, cash. That's all he's thinking about is cash. Perfect name for him. Cash is green. That's all he's thinking about. So he loses sight of everybody else. He's just focused on the money.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. It's very smart.
Yeah. Even Stephen Yeun is in this.
Yes, Stephen Yeun.
Plays Squeeze.
He plays Invincible.
And Glenn from The Walking Dead.
He is Invincible.
He is.
Squeeze. Because he's always trying to squeeze the company for their money. All the names, they're perfect.
Salvador, which is his friend's name.
Yeah.
What's that?
I don't know. Maybe he's nothing. Maybe it has something to do with the territory, Salvador. I don't know.
Maybe.
And Detroit. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Those are just kind of wacky names.
Yeah.
I'm sure they have their metaphors, but the main characters are specific. And then the guy who doesn't have a name because they bleeped it out. Because he's so far gone, he doesn't have one. He's just...
His name is just Mr. and it's just a bunch of underscores.
His name's... Yeah, it's just Mr. because he's so far into this personality that he like forgot who he was.
Well, yeah. Well, the funniest parts of this is
the white voice.
The white voice.
Gotta put on your
like
white
a
voice.
Conventionally white voice that Danny Glover's character.
Yeah, you gotta put on your white voice.
Yeah, it was funny. Voiced by Patton.
Like that? You mean like this? Yeah.
voiced by
Oswalt.
Patton Oswalt.
Not all of the voices. Is it all the voices?
Danny Glover's was different.
All right, because the main guy with the eye patch, he was Patton Oswalt.
Yes.
But Cassius Green, I think, was a different actor.
Was it?
I think. At some points, I was like...
kind of messed up.
That's Patton, that's not.
We can't distinguish white voices actors.
Well, if I don't know the actor.
True.
But they did sound...
No, at least the differences. Like, we can't tell that they're two different people.
I could. You could.
Well, they do. They do.
So, what is it? All the white voices sound the same?
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Everybody send in a soundbite of you saying something, and we'll compare them all blindfolded.
This
is
not going to be a good idea.
No.
This will fail. Bad.
So, character development, 9 out of 10. Very, very detailed in the way they come full circle at the end with Cassius Green finally come to terms, which I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the ending of the movie when he ends up turning into the Horseman, is that because he's still somewhat focused on the green, that he took everything from the apartment and brought that to his garage? He kept all the nice things because it's a status thing. He kept it all.
I might have to rewatch that part, but like when he snorts, I'm pretty sure that was...
Right, but he didn't turn into it because at that point he's all fighting it. He didn't want to. But then at the end, he still kept all his nice things. So in the back of his mind, it's still about status. Maybe that's...
I gotta rewatch that point again.
That's my thought.
That is a good point.
Because I was like, why did it take so long? But that moment when he reveals that he still kept his old stuff, the newer, nicer stuff, then he turned.
Yeah, that's a good point. I gotta rewatch that part.
Again, I don't know if that's how it is, but because of all the other stuff that happens, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll get a horse.
Yeah, you get a horse. Writing, pacing, kind of flew by. It was like just under 2 hours.
Yeah.
Felt like it. Didn't drag. It wasn't super fast.
The thing is, I'll add replay value just for a second, only because when you know about the horse hybrids,
yeah,
the pacing kind of goes away.
Right.
It's because you kind of know what's going to happen, but it's still, I'd say like maybe barely any replay value, like maybe not like a low replay value, but
medium. I put medium.
Affects.
Like again, like I'll rewatch it, but I'm not like I need to rewatch it now. It's like whenever I'm in the mood, like oh yeah, I'll put that on, or if it's on TV, like yeah.
Yeah, I think the pacing would suffer just a bit knowing that plot because otherwise, like, how could you have ended that though, to make it?
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, like the horse hybrid reveal is so jarring compared to everything, even though it's like everything's kind of like weird. It's kind of hinted that there's something wrong with like the company Worry Free with their ads, and the workers live in the facility that they work at, and the workers seem soulless.
Yeah, they're just kind of...
So like something's up with this, and like everybody acts so weird. Like the elevator and the long password for the elevator button. I think,
and
like how could you end it? And like if it would have been so basic and there's no horse hybrids, like how do you end it?
Yeah, it needed that weird twist to make it fit.
Yeah,
like to make it make sense. But to go back to all the metaphors and stuff, the woman debauchery. I forgot what
debauchery. Yeah,
but No, that's the actual word, but
Yeah.
whatever, however you pronounce
We're just
what
gonna
she
call
thought.
it debauchery.
Right. She didn't like anybody in that office until Cassius got the promotion. Then she was all over him because he's in the status quo now. He's got all the money.
Yeah.
So it's all a status thing.
It's all about the
But
green.
but Detroit and all the other friends, they're real, and that's why they never progressed because they have the thinking of I don't need a whole bunch of money to be seen. So it makes sense. It's cool.
And that's what that Detroit points out to Cassius because she loved him not for any of his money, but
Exactly.
his
For him.
character.
Yeah, for him.
I mean, he's pretty intuitive because at the very beginning when he gets the job, he did all this like fake background stuff.
Yeah.
And
they
the
didn't care.
the manager saw through it, but he's like, you got spunk.
Yeah. Like you'll do whatever you want to get to the top, which is what the whole point of the movie is. Like it's to get the money, focus on the money. So they don't care. That if as long as you do the job, they don't care. And he does the job. The ending?
10.
Yeah, 10. It was very good.
Like it might seem crazy at first, like when you think like I'm still going back like without the hybrid horse stuff, like how do you end it? Like if it's some basic ending where like he just figures out it was just like there was no experiment. It was just some basic like exploitation of workers, and it wasn't so crazy. Like,
but then again, he did find out about the selling slavery basically.
Yeah,
and he's like, fine, I don't care, I'm getting money. So there's nothing without that. There's nothing that would switch his mind because you need that line. There is no line because he's already selling slavery, which is like a huge line.
Like he kind of already probably knew.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Even the Mr. Blank.
Yeah.
He kind of like hinted that, and it's kind of funny when he turns off his white voice and he's like, "Just go through the door."
Yeah.
And it's just olive door.
Yeah, it's the olive. That was not olive.
It was clearly the olive door.
Yeah, I did go through the olive. No, that was like sapphire.
That was the jade door.
The jade door. Yeah. So it was clearly jade.
What's with the colorful door names? Like what?
It's all different types of green.
You know what? That makes sense. Okay.
Everything's shaded green. Yeah, ending very good. I thought the movie ended, but then it had a little cutscene. I was like, all right, he's getting his revenge now.
Yeah.
They're coming to his house.
I'm Cassius Green.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to bother you.
Yeah. Sorry to bother you.
I was like, hey, they said the thing.
Well, they said it before that.
They did, yeah. He's like, hey, sorry to bother you
Yeah.
when he called the phone.
Yeah. I like that name.
It was one of those moments.
The title of this movie is eye-catching, especially with the. It's not on this page, but the artwork for the movie is very, very good.
Yeah,
that's what drew me.
Yeah, it was very loud, very colorful. Entertainment 9 out of 10. Again,
Mine was 10.
I think the 1 point negative is on a rewatch, it will be less entertaining because I know everything that happens, and it's just like you said with the reveal and stuff.
Yeah.
But no, it's also not for like a first time watch. It's very cool to see it all, but it's not one of those movies that has a lot of like excitement. It's got like a pretty mundane story, Yeah. So I think
it's mundane. The writing is very witty. Characters are fun, but overall, not much stuff happens.
Yeah, it's more of just like a story with. It's the dialogue and like the story. I don't know.
And that's kind of why it needs that. Yeah. That ending with the horse hybrids.
Because it's a what am I?
I know. All of a sudden, he falls out, and you see everything.
Yeah.
And
am I watching a different movie?
He's like,
help us! They're hurting us.
I know.
We're hurting.
But yeah, I was like, I think the first time I watched it, I think I paused it, and I was like, what?
Yeah. What is this?
I was like, what is going on?
What am I watching?
Because I know the movie was crazy, but like,
because nothing else was that crazy. It was just a giant metaphor.
It was just like overall the movie was like unsettling because it kind of mirrors the world.
Yeah.
But it's so like characters are like over the top.
Yeah.
Like,
and it felt empty, like the world. Like it just felt like everybody's on a straight path and they're all being like mind controlled. That's what it kind of felt like.
Definitely the workers in the ads.
Yeah. The workhorses. They turned them into a literal
workhorse. Yeah.
They didn't use that terminology, which I thought they would have, but
it's there.
It's there. It's there when you see it. I thought they would have said it, but they're literally turning people into workhorses because it improves their.
They're turning the frogs.
They're turning the freaking frogs gay. Yeah, it turns. It increases their productivity and their strength and everything. So it gets more work done, which gives them more money.
Yeah,
and they don't tell you when you sign up.
Yeah.
Then you're just horseman.
Yeah. But as much as I read up about Army Hammer and some of his accusations, but like the character was pretty funny. Like at the end when he's like, "Let me just explain everything." Like you went to that door, like this would have
Yeah.
all made sense if you watched the video before going in there.
Yeah, it's like I didn't want myself to sound crazy.
Yeah, I'm not crazy. This isn't
No.
a crazy idea.
I'm not crazy.
But horses
Yeah.
and guys, like
You're
workhorses.
Yeah. Crazy. Wacky.
And the funniest, I'm not gonna say, I can't say it, but when they had him rap,
Yeah, and he couldn't rap, but he just said the
yeah, like
word, and everybody
they
cheered.
just expected him to rap, and it just
Again, 'cause
goes to show like that's
what
not
rap is. That's what it turned into. That's all you hear now.
Yeah.
So again, this movie it's all metaphors, everything.
It is. And that's the only way that the white people were able to understand the rap.
Right.
And then they they cheered.
Mhm.
And they clapped.
Yes, they clapped.
They landed the plane.
Yeah, rewatch somewhere in the medium, 5 to 8 range, maybe like a 6, maybe on a little bit of the upper half, but yeah. Pros for me, very unique story and
Very unique.
quirky to make it work. Like a very serious story, like a very serious subject matter, but they turned it weird
So it's so serious
to keep you involved.
and the outlandish ending.
Mhm.
You in hindsight, it shouldn't work.
It shouldn't,
but it does.
Yeah.
And that's
yeah.
It's kind of that's hard to pull off.
It is hard, yeah, because they never alluded to it. You would have never expected anything like that.
Yeah.
I was like, how is this sci-fi? And then I was like, okay, sci-fi. I mean, acting was really good. Specific cons, I can't pick something other than just the lowish scores I gave. Like, but I saw one of yours and I can just steal it. But it's a slow burn-ish kind of movie, but it's interesting enough to keep you interested. But it is a slower burn.
Yeah.
It's just him going to work every day. It's one of those things.
Yeah. And stuff happens then like it's like not like crazy important, but Squeeze kind of like gets with his girlfriend after they break up. Yeah. Like it's just it's very basic, and that's why it needs that ending. Mm-hmm. But like before watching that, like people watching it, you might get bored. Like it's very fun and witty, but like for some people that might not be enough.
Right. But see it through.
But yeah, see it like
because you'll go what?
Like
what?
On editing, flash it like watch this movie.
Yeah. Watch
like,
this movie. I'll
watch
control them. Watch this movie with flashing lights. The best scene I think is the reveal of the horse people.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell is going on? And yeah.
And that's when it turned into true horror.
But it's not enough.
Because then they're rioting in the street. That's when it turns horror. Like the horse people save.
I guess. Like again, it's not scary. So is it horror? It's not scary.
Like they're social horror. Like I kind of
like it's because they're just personified as that. Like they're really just humans, but we're seeing it in a different way.
It's so uncanny. It's so disturbing.
I mean, the
with body part of like
were,
turning into a horse.
Right. The practical effects are good. Like they looked like they were in pain, and it looked like
they definitely were in pain.
Yeah, we're hurting. Me. Yeah, 8.7.
8.7.
8.7.
We gotta get one that's like where we really disagree.
Yeah. Like a 1 to a 10.
We're to the point where
Shaun of the Dead.
I'm gonna have to hit you if you give. Okay.
Like Shaun of the Dead.
Shit, Shaun of the Dead, man. That's great.
Ass.
That's great.
Nope. So, those were 3 recommended movies to us. Thank you for those recommendations.
All underrated.
We will be doing more of the underrated movies because all of them looked pretty good. They looked interesting enough that would give us a watch. That we would watch it. So we'll do more of this in the future. Yeah. Thank you for providing this. Yeah. Give us more in this video. Just comment. Yeah. Everything. Keep commenting. Keep on commenting. And if you've seen these, let us know what you thought of them. And our next tune in next week for our review for A Death of a Unicorn, starring Paul Rudd, Jenna Ortega, and Will Poulter, plus others who did a good job. And also, you'll get my mini review of the Minecraft movie. He won't be watching it, but I'll talk about it for a segment. That'll be my segment. I'll talk about the Minecraft movie. So stay tuned for that
Tim's wacky segment.
because I said we were going to talk about it. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
All right.
In the meantime, comment your ass off.
Yeah, comment your ass off, but not too much, where you turn into a horse.
Yeah, you don't want that horse. Maybe you do. Who knows? So yeah, follow us. YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, X, Facebook.
Keep up with those trivias.
TikTok. We're doing trivia every day. Are you doing sometimes 2 a day, or am I just like thinking you're posting 2 a day?
Maybe you're thinking.
All right, maybe I'm thinking too much.
I don't think I did.
I started doing fun facts on the stories. Today's fun fact, which is a week earlier in real time, but when so yeah,
it'd have already been posted.
On the 30th, the fun fact was Psycho was the first movie ever to feature a audible toilet flush. Crazy fun facts. Who knows?
That is crazy.
So you get daily content there. TikTok, you get clips from our videos.
Keep on commenting. We love to see the comments.
Yeah, we're at 83 subscribers. It's amazing.
One of the highlights that I saw was, like, we love responding to comments, but seeing other people respond to other people's comments, like, it's really nice to see conversations between other commenters.
The community is forming, which means the Discord will shortly be up. We need to work on that.
Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah, we need to work on that.
Stay classy.
Stay classy. Slowly but surely,
and
we
fuck
will...
you. Wait.
Sorry?
It said it on the prompter.
Oh, the prompter. Yeah, we have a prompter. This is all scripted.
It said fuck you, guys.
Yeah. Fuck you, San Francisco.
San Diego.
Yeah, I know. I'm being different, so it's not copyright.
Oh, it's not going to get copyrighted.
Who knows? But yeah, that'll do
2 weeks in the mail. Cease and desist.
Yeah, that'll do it for this episode of the pod.
Yep, the pod.
See you soon.
Stay tuned, horror fans.
Stay tuned.